In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to use the Records tab. One thing you'll notice in the Records tab, there are two sub-tabs, one for your actual income records and one for your actual expenditure records. Simply, this is the tab where you enter what you actually earned and what you actually spent for each month. And with that information, you can use to compare to your budget to determine where you over budgeted, under budgeted, and how you're performing throughout. So one of the first steps we'll do when starting out is we have to select the date we want to begin budgeting for. So we're going to begin budgeting for the month of August. So from the drop down, I'll select August. And then for the year, you can type in whichever year you want, but I'll use 2016 as it was before. Now the next step is we have to enter a cash value. And this cash value in this cell to begin with is the amount of cash that we have on hand at this moment. So look in your bank account. How much cash do you have? So, after looking through a few bank accounts, I'll say I have 3,001, and then I have another 1,000 in another one. I have $500 in cash, and I have $50 in another bank account. Now, if I want to enter all those, I'll have to tally them up with a calculator next to me, do it on a sheet of paper. I can do equals and then plus for everything. Or I can use the calculator presented on the budget book, which makes it a lot easier. And this is why it was developed. So let's say I have 3,001 account. So there you go, I have 3,000 in one account. I'll enter that 3,000 and press enter, and the 3,000 goes into the cell. Now if I have 1,000 in another account, I'll type in the 1,000, press enter. It will add that 1,000 to the cash that I already had in the cell. And then I'll do 500. That way you can keep your eyes on a different screen as you enter items into the spreadsheet. That way you don't have to use an external source. You can do it all right here. Just type, press enter, type, press enter. You don't even have to touch the mouse. Makes it a lot easier. Once I'm done, I'll close. The next step is to enter your tangible asset value. Now your tangible assets are any physical assets that you own. So your tangible assets can be a TV if you want to get into that detail, but really what a lot of people would use is just the big assets, say your house and say your car. Now the way you tally up your tangible assets, it's not too difficult. Let's say you have a mortgage. Your mortgage is $300,000, that's what you borrowed. And so far, you've paid off $50,000 on the principal of your mortgage. That means you own $50,000 worth of your house. So that $50,000 is your tangible asset value. Same can be done for a motor vehicle and any big items that you have. If you want to use big items, if you so choose, you can also use smaller items, get into as much detail as possible. Not necessary, but bigger items are more important. And let's say we have $50,000 in tangible asset value, so physical asset value. Student loan does not amount to tangible asset value, so the amount you paid in principal should not be included here. Only the physical items. So we'll enter. Next, we'll go on to investments. So From here, we'll begin with August. So this is the month of August. These two here are what we had at the beginning of the spreadsheet when we set it up, you know. So now, let's say it's August, we can begin to enter August. Now already our investments were already calculated for us. That's because we had some investments already. So it shows up here. If we didn't, this would be 0. You can go back to your budgets tab, to the investments tab, and you'll see our $4,500 in investment that we budgeted for at the beginning. These are the bonds with 2% annual growth. That's how much investments we have so far. We do plan to add $100 on every month for this stocks category, but that hasn't happened yet until, let's say, August. So August, if the $100 came in, you would look at your investments, see how much your investments are worth. Let's say we put on the extra 100, so that's the 46. In fact, I will actually, to make it easier, use the calculator. So we got the extra $4,600, but we also noticed that we got an extra $50 in interest from over the month from what we invested before. So I'll add that extra $50 to it. So our investments actually grew. Next, we can do company. So it's my income. And one thing that I like to do is I like to open up my statements next to my spreadsheets. If they're online, if they're on a piece of paper, you can keep the piece of paper next to you. That way, you can use the calculator tool, just look over at your statements and see how much your paychecks were, if that was your paychecks. And you can just enter it in, just like this. We see a 695.36, enter, and then we'll add on another, we'll look down the list, then we'll add on another 73, 1.57. That way we don't have to do any mental math. It's that simple. And then we keep adding it on. And then let's say for the month I got 2 payments of about $1,500, a little less, broken up into some payments. And then I already completed one for my next job, one for my wife's income. And here's an important section. If there are any items that of income that you got that you didn't budget for, so let's say a random refund that you got, prize money maybe. In fact, I'll do prize money. You can just enter that here. You didn't budget for it, but you got it. So you can make a nice little description for it. Put your description on the underline that's provided for you. And then just enter how much you got. $100. You won the lottery. And that's it. Next, after you're done with the income, you can go over to expenses and do the same. Use your calculator, look through your bank statements at all your expenses, put it in the category that it belongs in, and then in no time you have your months tallied up. The work at the end will definitely pay off for your record keeping. And then once you're done with all of that, your records are in, you can go over, take a look at your summary. And then your summary page will be a lot more lively now that your first month is done. Then you have more items recorded in. And then what you can do after that is we can go over, print, and we can go ahead and begin printing our report. And there are instructions to print the report. I hope you read through it. It's a very nice report, and I hope you enjoy it.